Listen. Not like content, not like background noise. Listen like someone who knows they have been avoiding a decision. I am Archangel Michael, and this message is not here to comfort you. It is here to interrupt you. The problem was never delay. You keep saying, things are delayed, nothing is moving, why is my life stuck? That is not true. Your life is not blocked. It is paused by your own hesitation. And that hesitation is not confusion. It is resistance to responsibility. Why this message found you now? You didn't find this video because you were searching. You found it because you were circling the same thoughts again and again, pretending you need more clarity. You don't. You need resolve. Clarity already came. You just didn't like what it required from you. The decision you keep postponing. There is one decision you keep delaying. Not 10, not many. One. You know exactly which one. And the reason you avoid it is simple. Once you decide, you can't go back to pretending. Indecision keeps your excuses alive. Decision kills them. Why your energy feels heavy lately. That heaviness you feel is not spiritual attack. It is not bad luck. It is not negativity. It is mental friction. Friction happens when action and intention are misaligned. You want progress, but you still want comfort. You want change, but you still want familiarity. Those two cannot coexist. You are not afraid of failure. Let's be honest. You've failed before. You survived it. You learned from it. Failure is not what scares you. What scares you is this. If it works, people will expect more from you. Success increases responsibility. Responsibility removes hiding places. Why you keep distracting yourself. You scroll, you watch, you plan, you prepare. All of it feels productive, but it's actually avoidance. Distraction is not laziness, it's fear in comfortable clothing. The lie you keep telling yourself. Here's the lie. I just need more time. No, time is not what you need. Commitment is. Time without commitment becomes delay. Delay becomes frustration. Frustration becomes self-doubt. This is the loop you're in. Why others are moving ahead of you. You look at people less talented than you, less thoughtful than you, less capable than you, and yet they're ahead. Not because they're better, because they decided earlier. They accepted imperfect movement. You demanded perfect certainty. Perfection is the most respectable excuse for fear. The moment that changed everything, and you missed it. There was a moment recently where you felt clear. You felt a sharp knowing, a quiet certainty, and instead of acting, you questioned it. That was the moment. Not dramatic, not loud, just clean. Moments like that do not beg, they wait once. You are not being punished. Nothing is wrong with you. You are not unlucky. You are not abandoned. You are not late. You are being tested for ownership. Can you own a decision without applause? Can you move without reassurance? Can you act without permission? That's the test. This part ends with a line you need to hear. If you keep waiting for confidence, you will wait forever. Confidence follows action, not thought.
Because if you recognize yourself here,
This will stop being just a video and start becoming a turning point. I am Archangel Michael, and what I am about to say is something most people don't want to hear. That is exactly why most people never move forward. The problem is not you. It's the environment you're trying to grow in. You keep asking yourself why your discipline keeps breaking, why your focus disappears, why you feel capable, yet stuck. The truth is simple. You are not weak. You are trying to stay strong in a place that is quietly weakening you. Even strong people become average when they stay too long in the wrong environment. And understand this clearly. Environment is not just people. Environment is what you see every day, what you hear repeatedly, what behavior you tolerate, what pace of life you've accepted as normal. Whatever you are surrounded by daily slowly rewrites your standards without asking for permission. The people around you may not be stopping you directly. They are doing something more subtle. They are normalizing you. They don't tell you to stop growing. They just say things like, "Why are you overthinking? Relax, everything is fine. Why take so much pressure?" And slowly, urgency dies, standards drop, momentum fades. Most people don't want you to fail, but they also don't want you to outgrow them. That's why you feel bored lately. And boredom is not laziness. Boredom happens when your capacity is bigger than your current life. You are restless because your environment no longer challenges you. Here is a dangerous lie you keep telling yourself. I can grow from here. Sometimes that's true. Most of the time, it isn't. Growth doesn't come from willpower alone. It comes from pressure. And pressure only exists when you are slightly uncomfortable, slightly alone, slightly outside what feels safe. Comfort slows growth. That's why I'm not telling you to cut people off dramatically. I am telling you something more powerful. Reduce access. Stop explaining everything. Stop being available to everyone. Stop giving your energy equally. When access is reduced, noise disappears on its own. You've also been feeling lonelier lately. That's not a sign you're lost. That's a sign you're transitioning. Between the old life you're leaving and the new life you haven't entered yet, there is always silence. That silence is movement. Let this be clear. If you fit comfortably into your current life, you are not growing. Growth always includes friction. Growth always includes distance. Growth always includes quiet. You say you are thinking, but you are not thinking. You are delaying. Thinking is useful when decisions are unclear. Your decision is clear. It is just uncomfortable. That's why you keep thinking. Remember this line. If you do not change your daily surroundings, you cannot change your life direction. Motivation will fail. Discipline will get tired. Environment always wins.
Now listen closely, because this is where most people misunderstand what's happening to them. You think you are losing motivation. You're not. You are losing tolerance for what no longer fits. The irritation you feel lately, the impatience with small talk, the exhaustion after familiar conversations, that is not negativity. That is misalignment becoming visible. There was a time when your current environment helped you survive. It gave you stability. It gave you comfort. It gave you something to hold on to. But environments are not permanent. And when you outgrow one, it doesn't disappear. It tightens. That pressure you feel is not failure. It is your capacity pressing against old limits. Familiarity feels safe because it requires no adjustment, no learning, no risk, no growth. But safety without growth slowly turns into stagnation, and stagnation creates confusion that feels like self-doubt. Here is something important you need to hear. The people around you may not be hurting you, but they may be anchoring you to a version of yourself that no longer exists. Shared history does not mean shared direction. Someone can understand your past deeply and still be completely misaligned with your future. That is not betrayal. That is reality. This is why your tolerance has dropped. Noise bothers you faster. Repetition frustrates you. Explaining yourself feels heavy. Not because you are arrogant, because your system is adjusting to higher responsibility. As responsibility increases, tolerance for inefficiency decreases. That is a natural shift. And now comes the part most people avoid. Not everyone needs to be confronted. Not everyone needs closure. Not everyone needs an explanation. Some access must end quietly. Because when you explain boundaries, you invite negotiation, and your growth is not a discussion. This phase will feel lonely at times. That loneliness is not emptiness. It is space being created, and space is required before new alignment can enter. Crowded lives cannot receive precision. Right now, your life is narrowing. Fewer conversations feel right. Fewer options feel correct. Fewer people truly understand you. That narrowing is not loss, it is focus, and focus always comes before momentum. Do not announce these changes. Do not justify your silence. Do not defend your boundaries. Silence is not avoidance. It is clarity without explanation. Understand this. If you try to carry everyone forward with you, you will move slower than those you are trying to protect. Leadership requires separation before elevation. And this part ends with a truth you must accept. If you stay where you've outgrown, you will mistake misalignment for personal failure, and that mistake costs years.
Stay with me now, because this is where most people lose everything they just gained. Not through failure, through relaxation. Progress begins, and you assume the danger has passed. It hasn't. Momentum is not lost loudly. It fades quietly. You don't wake up one day off track, you drift there. Small routines loosen, boundaries blur, old habits quietly return. Not because you are careless, but because you mistake movement for arrival. You are not arriving, you are transitioning. Momentum does not sustain itself, it must be maintained. And the moment you stop reinforcing what created progress, progress begins to slow. This is the mistake most people never notice. They return to old inputs. Same distractions, same conversations, same emotional exposure. You tell yourself you're stronger now. Strength does not cancel influence. Even disciplined minds weaken under undisciplined environments. That is not failure, that is structure. This is why motivation no longer works for you. Motivation depends on emotion. Emotion fluctuates. At this level, discipline replaces motivation. Not discipline fueled by pressure, but discipline built on standards. There is one structure you must protect immediately. The first hour of your day and the last hour of your day. What enters your mind first and what lingers last sets the tone for your authority. If those hours are chaotic, your entire day destabilizes. Small breaches feel harmless, skipping one routine, allowing one distraction, breaking one boundary just this once. Authority erodes through permission, not force. What you allow repeatedly becomes your normal, and your normal eventually becomes your identity. Rest is also being misunderstood. Rest is not escape. Rest is restoration. Distraction is not rest. Numbing is not rest. If you return from rest feeling dull, you didn't rest, you avoided. Consistency will feel boring. It has no novelty, no excitement, no validation. That boredom is the cost of stability. If you chase excitement, you will sabotage rhythm, and rhythm is what builds power. Soon, things will feel normal again. Less urgency, less pressure, less intensity. This is where people assume they are safe. This is where most fall back. Stability is not the reward. Stability is the platform. Do not lower your standards to feel relief. Lowering standards feels kind. It feels deserved. It also dissolves authority. As capacity increases, standards must rise. Comfort is not the goal. Alignment is. Remember this. If your life becomes more complicated as your power increases, you are building incorrectly. Complexity is a warning sign. And this part ends with a quiet truth. You don't lose momentum all at once. You give it away, one small permission at a time. This is where it ends. Not the message, the pattern. Listen without emotion now, because emotion is no longer required. You have done enough trying, enough pushing, enough proving. Effort is not what decides your future anymore. Self-respect does. Self-respect is not confidence. It is not attitude. It is not ego. Self-respect is what you refuse to participate in. It is what you stop tolerating, what you stop explaining, what you stop negotiating with. Power is not built by doing more. It is built by allowing less. From this moment forward, one rule must govern you. If something consistently costs you clarity, it is too expensive. No matter how familiar it feels, no matter how comfortable it once was, no matter who is attached to it, power grows through elimination, not addition. This is why you must stop proving yourself. Proving invites judgment. Judgment invites interference. Interference destabilizes direction. When you know who you are becoming, you do not argue with people who cannot see it. You outgrow the need to convince. Explanation is permission-seeking. Authority does not ask. This choice will cost you comfort. Certain dynamics will end. Certain expectations will collapse. Certain conveniences will disappear. Let them. Comfort built on self-betrayal always collapses. Discomfort built on alignment always passes. Very soon, you will face a small choice, not dramatic, not obvious. A request, a distraction, a compromise, a just this once. That is the test. Not because the choice is big, but because it reveals who is in control. Every major collapse begins with a minor permission. So adopt this rule. I do not do things that require me to explain myself later. If something demands justification, rationalization, or recovery, it is already misaligned. Clean actions do not require defense. As this stabilizes, your life will become quieter. Fewer people will have access to you. Fewer things will demand your attention. Fewer emotions will hijack your decisions. This is not detachment. This is command. Command is quiet. Stop waiting for confirmation. Confirmation follows execution. Every time you moved with clarity, certainty followed. You already know this. This message ends here, not because there is nothing more to say, but because there is nothing more you need to hear. From now on, act when clarity appears. Protect your inputs. Reduce noise aggressively. Honor your standards without apology. Do not explain your evolution. You are not becoming powerful. You are remembering how power behaves. Stand firm. Move clean. Do not return to what you outgrew.